All right. So, guys, welcome again to MMC. My name is Ernest Joseph. I'm going to share some information with you guys that's very, very important because there's some people that ask me for some information that I wanted to take a moment so I can deliver that video for you guys. So this is gonna be the first part of it. I'm not gonna be able to do all of it at once, but I'm gonna do the best that I can to make sure I can cover some of the numbers. So now I'm not gonna be sharing a slide, okay? Maybe in the future I can work with that for you, but as of right now I won't be able to share any slide because somebody asked me, I need to know some of the numbers, okay, all the numbers that can be tested. And I think that's an important video that I can put together for that person who ever asked for it, and maybe there's some other people that will be, learn from it. And if you already subscribed to the channel, really appreciate it. And it's not that the subscription that I really like seeing, it's just the comments. I love all of you guys that posting the comments when you pass the exam. You let us know that you use the videos, then they help you out. That's what really motivates me to do more videos. It's just like, as long as I know the information is beneficial to some people. Now, I can't be able to satisfy everybody, but I do believe if the video can help you move forward in your life, in your career, that's a big deal. No, listen, don't pay attention to my accent. Of course, I have an heavy accent, so I do, but don't pay attention, don't pay no mind, okay? And this is not a grammar class neither. This is not English 1101 or English 1102, This is simply just understand simple concept so you can be able to go pass exam, okay? That's what's important, be able to pass exam. So the first thing we're going to talk about, let's see, there's some numbers in the premium. Let's talk about the premium. So the premium, that's what you pay every month, okay? Every month. Either you pay the premium monthly, or you can pay the premium quarterly, semi-annual, annually, okay? Because they can put 30 days, they can put, you pay the premium every 3 months, or every 6 months, or every year. That's numbers. And that's called the mode. How often you pay, it's called the mode. But what's important about that is not just that. The number you're going to find from the premium is the first number that we're going to talk about is the grace period. When you look at the word grace, that means they don't have to do it. Period mean what? It's a time. But it's a grace time, but they can say grace time, of course not. But it's grace period. They don't have to do it. So usually when you have a policy, you don't pay your premium. The company give you 30 days. Now listen to me. If it is an individual policy, 30 days to pay for the premium, to pay the policy. You still cover in that 30 days. If you pass away, they're going to pay a reduced death benefit because you owe 1 month premium. So 30 days. So many people say, listen, they say, Ernest, I know you do a lot of videos on YouTube, but I don't see the grace period on the exam. But they did. They give you a scenario. They say, sir, to purchase a policy and take an extended vacation. Maybe on the 20th day, they pass away. That was the grace period they're referring to. 28 days is not 30. So 30 days grace period. So you don't have to pay if you don't pay the policy, you still cover for 30 days. That's for individual policy. But there is a 31 days. Oh, before I go to the 31 days, remember the 30 days, they can also put 1 month. Some people missed it. 1 month. 30 days means 1 month. And if they can really be tricky, they can put 4 weeks. 4 weeks mean 30 days. 1 month, 30 days. Okay, make sure you understand. And also there is a 31 days you can take on your exam. A 31 days grace period is for group policy. That's only apply for group insurance. 31 days you can convert to an individual policy without you taking no tests. 31 days you have to do that to convert to an individual policy. And remember, when you say with conversion, is it you can only convert to a whole life. You cannot convert from a term to a whole life. You can only convert to a whole life. Make sure you get that. 31 days on group policy. Grace period, there's two types of grace period. 30 days for individual policy and 31 days for group policy. Okay, make sure you get that. So that's for the beautiful state of Florida. Good deal. Another thing that you need to know, reinstatement. That's another numbers you can find on your exam. So if you pass the 30 days and the policy lapse, that's mean you don't pay for non-payment. So there is 3 years to pay back to reinstate the policy. They give you 3 years to reinstate your policy. Now remember, mark those numbers. 3 years reinstatement. So that's when you can reinstate in 3 years. But in order for you to reinstate, I don't have to go through all the details. You have to pay back all the premium, pay interest if there is any interest due on the premium, pay back any loans, but you don't have to pay the next premium in advance. And also you have to prove that you're in good health. So you have 3 years to do that. 3 years reinstatement. Having the reinstatement, we do it. All right. So that's the 3 years. So that's the first 3 that we cover. A second number you're going to find is what we call incontestability. Incontestability is mean that they cannot contest. If somebody lying about the policy, they cannot deny the claim because misleading information. So they have 2 years. Incontestability, 2 years. The company have to check you out to make sure everything you say are true based on your knowledge. All the statements. But it does not apply to age, sex, or identity. So if you lie about your sex, your age, they will just make it right. They'll fix it. So remember that incontestability, 2 years. Now I give you 3 years for reinstatement. Now I give you 2 years for incontestability. So they cannot contest against you. Make sure you get that, folks. All right. What are numbers you need to know? Free look. And again, if I this word again, okay. Free look at me for free, just like you get at me right now for free. You're not really for free because you're giving me your time to watch the video. You're not looking at me for free. But anyway, at the end of the day, you can look at me for free. Okay, my smile, look at me for free. So free mean free, just like you say free. But look mean take a look at it. Okay. So if you say look, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm looking. So let's say this was my policy. I'm looking at my policy, but for free. For how long? Not forever. Make sure you get that. They only allow you in Florida to look the policy for 14 days. Check on your state. If you're in different states, sometimes I give you 30 days. But you need to check on your state to know the free look period. How long is it? 14 days. So they give you 14 days to look at the policy for free. If you don't like it, you can return it and you get all your money back. Get a full refund. That's the key word. Full refund. But you got 14 days to look at it. When the free look start, when they deliver the policy to you. Okay? When you get the policy delivered. Once the agent give you the policy, that's 30 days. I mean, that's 14 days, excuse me, free look. But there's a 30 days free look as well. The 30 days free look only apply to replacement. It's when you're replacing somebody's policy, now you got 30 days to look at the policy to see if you still want it. 30 days free look for replacement, but anything else, new business, there's 14 days to look at it for free. Now, the next thing that's not, you're going to find numbers in is suicide. Suicide, there's a 2 years period that suicide is not covered. So you have 2 years, you cannot kill yourself. After 2 years, man, you want to kill yourself, man, you know what I'm saying? You want to leave your family rich, that's you, man, that's your problem. Just make sure, you're going to hell for killing yourself. That's crazy, that's insane. Why would you do that? It's just like sometimes people say, well, if I get this policy, what happened after, a lot of times, if somebody have a term policy, they say what happened. Well, it's up to you. After you got 2 years, man, you can kill yourself for the first 2 years, but after that, do whatever you got to do, man. 2 years. Can kill yourself for 2 years. Because if you kill yourself within that period of 2 years, they're just going to refund all your premium back to your beneficiary, but they won't pay the death claim. 2 years, you cannot kill yourself. So suicide is not covered for a specified period of time, usually 2 years, but it's covered thereafter. All right, make sure you get that. Once I say get that, make sure you get that. All right, there is a policy loan, there's the numbers. Okay, so sometimes you can request a policy loan, and the company can say that, you know what, we cannot give you the loan. But how long they can give you? Why they cannot say they're not gonna give you the loan forever, because you need that money. So, but they can hold that money for 6 months. So there's a 6 month in waiver premium I'm gonna cover, and there's a 6 month that on the policy loan. And also there's a temporary license for 6 months. So you see, there's different way you can select 6 months on your exam. 6 months for policy loan, they can deny the loan, so they don't give it to you for 6 months. They can hold the money. There is 6 months to wait to see if you become disabled. That's called the waiting period. And also there's a 6 month for a temporary license. They might have another 6 months, but I gotta get to that. Okay. So there is also a 30 days on policy loan in case if your policy is going to lapse, they're gonna use the money in your cash value. They have 30 days to let you know they're gonna use that money to pay for your policy. Okay, that's numbers. What are the numbers you might need to know? Okay, I'm just gonna make sure to see if I can find the numbers. And if you do, while I'm explaining those to you, and if you have something that just let me know. Just let me know. If you need, there's more numbers that you not understand, just let me know. There's a 14 days to 30 days that you can encounter in your exam. The 14 days to 30 days, not the 14 days if we look, the 14 to 30 days apply for common disaster clause. The common disaster clause is when the primary beneficiary and the insured die in the same accident, and they cannot determine who died first. So what they're saying is they come with a common disaster clause with uniform simultaneous death law. What does that mean is, it's just like if the primary beneficiary and the insured die in the same accident, if the primary beneficiary leave for 14 days to 30 days longer, and the money gonna get paid to the insured state. Other than that, they will assuming the primary beneficiary died before the insured, so therefore the money will pay to the insured state instead of the primary beneficiary state. So that's when you can find that 14 to 30 days into the common disaster clause for beneficiaries. So we talk about the waiver of premium. There's a 106 month waiting period for that. So we talk about that. And if they ask you when does the waiver of premium expire, at age 60 or 65, because at 65 you get Social Security, but at age 60, this waiver of premium expires. What are the number you can find? The payer benefit rider. So the payer benefit rider, there's a number in there. The number is usually age 21, not 25 sincerely, but 21. If the person who paying the policy, you know, cannot pay, become disabled, that's mean the payer become disabled. The kids do not have to pay the policy until the age of 21. That's called the majority, age of majority, which is 21 years old. Some state might give you 25, but for the purpose of the state of Florida, it's the age of 21. So what's other number that you can encounter in your exam? I'm not gonna mention the 90 days until the dismemberment things. Okay, there's another number that you can find. You find the guarantee insurability rider. It expires at age 40, and that's I would say this topic's tested. Okay, guaranteed insurability rider. That's when you can add more insurance on yourself until the age of 40, every 3 years, whatever, because of your marriage. Maybe you have more kids. Maybe you're making more money, become more valuable, that you need to get more insurance. Maybe you can only afford that little insurance right now. You need more insurance later on. So you put the guarantee insurability rider, then that can cover you until the age 40. After the age 40, you cannot have that benefit any longer. Now, you can also find another number that if they ask you when the return of premium why they expire, and the return of premium why there, folks, is if they say what type of insurance is that, the return of premium. Imagine, think of it this way. If I have a policy, they're gonna return my premium back. What do you think gonna happen to the death benefits? Is it gonna go down or up? Of course, yes, it's gonna go up because they're gonna return you more money. Because you see more money get returned back to you. So that's an increasing. They use the increasing term to do the return of premium rider. And this also expire at age 60. That's expire at age 60. Those are some of the numbers that could be tested on your exam. So there is some other couple numbers that's very, very important that I'm gonna cover with you. Because those numbers, you can find them on your exam. I did talk about the 31 conversion privilege, okay? And I did talk about that numbers. That's something you need to know. So there's some people that have a little confusion when it comes to contributory and non-contributory plan. When the plan is non-contributory, that's mean you don't have to participate. But 100% of employee who's eligible must participate in the plan. 100% must participate. But contributory, on the other hand, 75%, that's been contribute. You have to contribute. 75% of employee who's eligible must be participate into the plan. And one other thing that you need to know, that's numbers. The penalty, the withdrawals. If you take money before the age of 15 and a half, that's numbers, 15 and a half, there is a 10% penalty that you have to pay because you take money out, unless if you fall under the exception. Okay, if you become disabled, or if you pass away, or maybe your first time home buyer on a house of $10,000, or maybe for higher education purposes. So there's two other numbers. There's a few more other numbers I wanted to mention here. But let's see if I can mention them, because when I come back to the other video, when I do it, then I'll make sure. Hopefully I can come up with a PowerPoint, then I can put that into a PowerPoint for you guys, and that will help you guys better. Because at least when I'm teaching, I love for the person who can see, because, you know, like I said, because of my accent, I like you to see it, and then once you see it, it's better. Then you can see it, even if I say the word wrong, but you gave a chance, you know, to got it. Okay, so insured state. Insured state. Let's talk about the Social Security a little bit. Fully insured, that could be tested. When they're talking about the fully insured status, that's when you meet the 40 quarters. That's when you do 10 years of work, because every year when you work, they give you 4 credits. So fully insured means 40 quarters. Current insured means 6 quarters. Okay, that's when the 13 quarter period. Okay, 6 quarters, that's when you're currently insured. What is the blackout period? What does that mean? The blackout period, guys, is when the youngest child turned the age 16, or in the surviving spouse, which is at 60. So that's called the blackout period. So at that time, the government can still give that person the help until the child gets to age 16 on their Social Security. No, after the age 60, there is no to get the payment when the child is under the age of 16. You can be able to get that money to take care of the kids because the parents, you know, actually no longer living. All right. Here's some number I want you to know. If you change, that's in the law section. If you change your name, you change your address, you change your email address or business address, you have 30 days to report that to the Department of Financial Services. 30 days to report that to the financial services. What about criminal offenses? If you go to jail, not the person you work with, not your manager, supervisor, whoever you work with, you as the agent who have the license have to let the department know you've been in jail, but you got 30 days to do that in writing. 30 days to make sure you tell the Department of Financial Services that you've been in jail. That's called criminal offenses. What about examination? Examination done by the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. How often they do that examination? To examine the book and records of the insurance companies. Every 5 years. How often? I said every 5 years. Examination get done every 5 years. And the company that they getting the examination will pay for the fee. So what the Chief Financial Officer is saying, don't make me come as earlier than every 5 years. Because if you make me come often, because I can come, if I feel like I smell the fire, I smell like you're doing something wrong, I can come more often to examine you, but you're still gonna pay. But if you don't do that, but every 5 years, the examination will get done. Okay, make sure you know that for your exam. So what about some other thing that you need to know? Okay. For how long, when you're taking that exam, because you study, if you're watching me, you're studying for that test. On a calendar year, I mean in 12 months. In 12 months period, you can take this exam 5 times. Make sure you know that. If they ask you in a 12 months period, how many times you can take that exam? 5 times. After 5 times, you're gonna wait. Okay. Let's say you start taking the exam this month. Okay. Then if you take all the 5 times this month, you're gonna have to wait until next year, this month, to start taking it again. So 5 times you can do that. What happens if somebody deny a license? What can happen? If you deny for your license, you must wait 30 days from the date of denial before you can apply again. So if you deny for a license, you got to wait 30 days before you can apply again. Can somebody transfer the license? Of course, yes, you can transfer license from one state to another state. How long you have to do that? 90 days. So if I'm in state of Florida, I'm going to New York. So I have to, 90 days, I need to make sure, because after 90 days, I can't do it. I have to do the test again. What about continuing education? That's called CE. The continuing education, you have to do this every 2 years. How often? Every 2 years. How many hours you have to do? 24 hours. Remember that. Every 2 years, 24 hours. But from that 24 hours, folks, you have to understand 5 hours must be an update course. So what I mean is 5 hours supposed to do in law and ethics. Law and ethics, 5 hours. They also might require you to do 3 hours in suitability and annuities or in life insurance, period. But from that 24 hours, there is a 5-hour update course that's a require from the 24. Every 2 years, you have to do that 5 hours. Because if you go on the exam, excuse me, they say law and ethics, it's 5 hours. If they just say ethics by itself, it's 3 hours. But law and ethics updates is 5 hours from that 24 hours, and you have to do that every year. Every 2 years, I mean, every 2 years. Okay. What about for those people Because, for example, somebody like myself, I've been licensed for over 6 years. So because of that, I only have to do 20 hours of CE. So once you get licensed for more than 6 years, you don't need to do 24 hours. They still give you a break, say, you know what, I'm going to take 4 hours out. You only have to do 20 hours every 2 years. But guess what? The 5 hours still must be included from that 20. So you're going to do 15 from anything else, but 5 hours from that must be an update course. That's been from law and ethics. Somebody might say, what happened with the extra time? If I do extra, instead of 24 hours, I do 28. The extra 4 hours will carry to the next period. Okay? But not every state does that. Some state you can do extra. You have to check that in your state. Some state only allow you to do exactly. If they actually do 20 hours, you got to do 20, that's it. No extra. Any extra you do, that's your problem. They won't. They're going to say, whatever, money, you have money to waste. We ain't going to give you leeway on that. Make sure you check that in your state. But how can somebody get, what happens if I'm sick? And there's no way, it's impossible for me to do that CE. Well, the department can grant you, they may grant you a CE extension for up to 1 year. So that you can get 1 year of CE extension so that you can have the time to do your continuing education. Okay? So I did talk about the 30 days for changing names, address, business address, telephone number, email address, 30 days to report those. If you're found guilty of a felony or misdemeanor, 30 days to report felony charges. Okay, make sure you remember that. What about appointments? You're not appointed forever, people. Usually you have an appointment. If you go past that exam, you don't get an appointment. Matter of fact, the exam, when you pass that, they give you that little pink slip or whatever, the pass notice or the fail notice, whatever the pass notice they give you. It's only good for 1 year, by the way. If you pass that exam, you don't get appointed, you're going to have to take that exam again. Okay? Make sure you know that. The appointment, on the other hand, is different. If you get appointed, if you get licensed, you do all the paperwork, now you're licensed. If you don't get appointed in 48 months, you lose your license. You have to do everything again because that's been 48 months. You can see 48 months. That would be expiring of your license. Or they can put 4 years, folks. 48 months and 4 years is the same thing. Because some people say, well, listen, Ernest, I went to the exam. I didn't see that 48 months you talk about. But they put 4 years. Oh, I didn't see the 4 years, but they put 48 months. So 48 months, if you don't get an appointment, your license will expire. And you have to do everything all over again. Okay, I think, is there anything else? I think that's pretty much most of the numbers that's the most important. Oh, there's another number that's important. It's called control business. Control business is not just when you just do business just for yourself. If you just get your license just to do business for a group of people or just for an organization, that's still control business. Control business simply means you're doing discrimination against a group, a certain group of people. So your control business cannot exceed 50% in 12 months. Okay? Your control business cannot exceed 50% in 12 months. That's for Florida. I don't know about other states, but for Florida, that's why they check on your state. Record keeping. How long you should keep records? Usually you're supposed to keep transactions for 3 years. Record keeping for 3 years. But there's an exception. There's an exception for 5 years. 5 years for seniors. If somebody is a senior, you have to keep their record for at least 5 years. Not 3, but 5 years. And also, if the company allow you to do rebating, this is when you try to give somebody an inducement to do something. So you got to keep a copy of all the rebate schedule for 5 years as well. So rebating must keep for 5 years, but also for seniors, 5 years. Examination done, 5 years. Those are the 5 years that's on that exam. So you see, I don't take 15 days. So don't take a 15 days on your exam. Okay, I don't say 45 days. Why would you take it 45 days on the exam? Where you get that from? All right. So I think this is pretty much it. That's the numbers that I really wanted to share with you guys. And I will just check if there's more numbers that's important. I will let you guys know. But other than that, I'll see you guys at the top. Let's go ahead, pass that exam. And don't forget, when you pass, like the video, share it with somebody else. Because remember, the video is yours. It's also for the people that that can use them to make sure they can change their lives. Because when you go take those videos, you share it with somebody else because you help them. Okay, you actually help them with their lives. You help them to make sure they can get something done. So at the end of the day, I really appreciate you guys. Let's go make things happen. When you pass, leave a comments. Okay, pass that exam, and don't forget to comment, share, do whatever you gotta do.